Back with another late night discussion, guys. I'm gonna talk to you guys. It's not gonna be very long, but I felt this would be something good to talk about for a few moments. Um, there is a saying, and they say this. I believe it's in the Bible as well. What profits a man if he gains the world? Now, when I was going to church, I used to think that this was a bad thing. But what I had to understand now is that, I mean, y- y- you're in the world. So, of course, you're going to want to profit the world. But, the saying in the Bible, they say, what profits a man if he gains the whole world and lose his soul, right? But I mean, okay, if you don't want to gain nothing that the world has to offer, then why are you even in the world? That doesn't make any sense. Um, but see, when you're going to church and when you're indoctrinated with that religion, you don't have the ability to really think and to use your brain and to think logical. Okay, if you don't want anything that the world has to offer, then why are you even in the world? You know, because the church, they try to make you think that you shouldn't desire anything of the world. Okay, well, you're in the physical realm. So you're gonna desire sex. You're gonna desire money. You're gonna desire women. You're gonna desire the finer things in life. That's just normal. That just comes along with being a human being. Some people become so spiritual to where they're no earthly good. And it's all about using common sense at the end of the day. Like, if you don't desire anything of the world, then you shouldn't be here. Because my mother has even told me before that she's not concerned about things of this world. Well, if you're not concerned about things of this world, then what are you doing on this planet? Then you should have never been on this planet then. Because if you're in the world, you're going to desire things of the world. That's why, since I'm no longer a Christian and since I stopped going to church, I can look at things from a more logical perspective. And that whole saying, what profits a man if he gains the world and lose his soul? I used to look at that as a bad thing, but I look at it from a more logical standpoint now. Like, I mean, if you don't desire nothing of this world, then what are you doing here? Everyone desire things of the world because you're a human being. You're in the world. That's why I never understood when they say in church that I'm in the world, but not of the world. Well, if you're not of the world, then you wouldn't desire anything that's out here in this society. So that's just delusional thinking that you're not of the world. You are of the world. And it's kind of crazy how you hear religious people say, I don't want anything that the world has to offer. Well, why are you even in the world then? You might as well just go ahead and not be here, you know, if you don't desire anything of this world. I mean, once you back away from religion, you start to look at things from a more logical standpoint, because I used to feel guilty and I used to feel wrong and convicted within myself because the church had me feeling that guilt. I mean, you're supposed to desire things of the world. You're supposed to desire money. You're supposed to desire women. You're supposed to desire material possessions. You're supposed to desire women with big behinds. Those are things that are just natural. But see, what the church will do, they'll try to tell you that you shouldn't want nothing of the world. Well, if I shouldn't desire anything of this earthly realm, then what am I doing on planet Earth then? Then I might as well be up there in the sky with Jesus. You know, it just doesn't make any sense. And I'm just glad that I've gotten to a point in my life to where I can look at things from a more logical perspective. Because if you're in the spirit world, you're with God, you're with the angels, then of course you're not going to desire anything of this world. But you're in the physical realm, so you're going to desire some sex. You're going to desire some women with fat asses. You're gonna desire some Popeye's chicken every once in a while because you're of the physical realm. So I realized that in church when they were telling me that oh, you shouldn't desire anything of the world, that's foolishness. How are you not gonna desire anything of this world when you're in the world? I mean, you're not in the spirit world. And once you back away from Christianity and you start to use your brain that God gave you, you will start to be able to think way more logically, and you'll be able to connect the dots yourself. So I don't understand that saying, what profits a man if he gains the world and lose his soul? So what are you saying? I'm not supposed to desire anything of the world? I mean, it's just double talk, if you ask me. You know, because that's what they say in Christianity. What profits a man if he gained the whole world and he loses his soul? Well, if you're in the world, it's only natural that you're gonna desire things of the world. That's why I never understood what my mother was trying to say, or when I hear Christians say, "I don't desire the things of the world." It just doesn't make sense because we're not in the spirit realm. We're in the physical realm. So, it's only natural that you're going to desire things of the world. And once you back away from the church, you will start to be able to think for yourself, and you'll start to be able to utilize common sense. And when I was going to church all the time, that's something that I was not utilizing. I was not utilizing common sense, you know, and I'm sure you guys can totally agree that the whole saying, what profits a man if he gain the world and lose his soul, it doesn't make sense because we're in the physical world. We're human beings. So it's only natural that we're going to have desires and wants and needs. We're going to want things of the world because we're in the world. So, I mean, I just realized that a lot of the things that I was believing was a bunch of foolishness. You know, I just don't see how a human being that's on planet Earth is not supposed to desire anything of the world. I mean, we're not in the spirit realm. Now, if you're in the spirit realm, you're not going to desire things of this earthly world because you're in another dimension. That's why I just feel that's just nonsense. Oh, don't desire the things of the world. Well, we are on planet Earth, aren't we? So it's like, how are you not going to desire things of the world when you're in the world? That's why I say people have to use their own brain, and they have to use common sense for themselves. Because I was just thinking to myself, like, I always believed that, growing up going to church, that, what profits a man if he gain the world and lose his soul? But it's like, okay, what am I? I'm not supposed to desire anything of the world. I mean, I'm in the world, so it's only natural that you're gonna have desires. And this is why I say people got to use common sense, and you have to use your own discretion when it come to things. But I felt this would just be a good topic to talk about right quick, because I was just like, I was just thinking to myself, like, that doesn't make any sense. Don't desire anything of the world. My mother told me not long ago that she wasn't focused on things of the world. And it's like, when you really think about it, that just doesn't make any sense. But you guys let me know what you think about desiring things of the world. What do you guys think about that whole philosophy? And I will be back at you guys very soon with more topics. This has been another late night discussion. You guys have a good night.